Welcome back. The Royal Gibraltar Police is currently investigating a wounding at Commonwealth Park on Thursday evening. As of Friday, 5 people were assisting the RGP with inquiries. The victim, who sustained a serious injury to his arm, is currently in hospital. The incident took place at around 11. Part of the park was closed during Friday's investigation. The Gibraltar Health Authority rolled out a new state-of-the-art £11 million electronic system integrated across the entire service. The new system will be brought online over the next 18 months and means all patient records will be available throughout the organisation.
When the new system is online and fully operational, it'll allow health practitioners to bring up patient records at the touch of a button anywhere within the health service. A cancelled operation because a patient file can't be found, for example, will be a thing of the past. Minister John Cortes has described this as a huge milestone in the development of Gibraltar's healthcare and in keeping with the government's e-government policy.
It's going to be a fully integrated system which will include primary care, hospital care and mental health, and in this it is pretty unique. Most health services around the world don't have a fully integrated system which covers all these.
The GHA has signed a 10-year contract with EMIS, a leading UK-based company, for the provision of the fully integrated system, which will bring together the primary care service, the hospital and the mental health service. This contract will cost just over £11 million over 10 years, but the initial 18-month period will cost £3.5 million. The contract follows a tender process which started in November last year.
EMIS are proud to join Gibraltar Health Authority in this project. We see the piece that's unique here is delivering an integrated solution across the whole health sector rather than within just acute community or mental health. EMIS have got market-leading solutions across all of those sectors, and the piece that we're doing here, which is particularly special, is making sure that they're fully integrated, meaning that clinical decision-making will be based upon optimal information at the point of making those decisions. And I'd like to iterate that we're very grateful to have been selected and really look forward to the next 10 years.
The challenge to the staff, particularly of the GHA, be it in informatics, as they work together with EMIS in developing what will be a very special and unique product, and also clinicians who, in a lot of cases, will have to change the way they run things. But ultimately, the benefits to the patients will shine through, and that's what it's all about.
The first areas to be fitted out completely will be primary care and A&E, with mental health following and other systems rolled out after that.
The chairman of the all-party British Gibraltar Group in Parliament, Labour MP Jim Dobyne, died this week. He was 73. Mr Dobyne, a Scot, was on a trip to Poland with a parliamentary committee when he died. Labour leader Ed Miliband said it was a sad day for Parliament, adding that Mr Dobyne was a dedicated public servant. Locally, Chief Minister Fabian Picardo tweeted his condolences, saying Mr Dobyne's sudden death had stunned everyone. Mr Picardo added the MP would be missed at the National Day celebrations. And GSD Chairman Trevor Hammond described Mr Dobyne as a long-standing and staunch defender of Gibraltar in the UK Parliament. He said on behalf of the opposition that Mr Dobyne would be missed. Gibraltar UK representative Albert Bohio described Mr Dobyne as a good friend and a great friend of Gibraltar.
Great Sanders, a great friend. I've known him since 1997. A great public servant. He shared many committees. He was a papal knight. He represented the House of Commons in the Vatican, so he would be a real gentleman. He would be missed, and I'm very, very sad. So there you go. That's life, I suppose. But now, of course, we move on to see who will take over the chair. But that would not happen now until the committee can meet, and they have to decide themselves. I cannot influence that. But We know that the three parties are represented. We know that there are three vice presidents representing the three main parties, and we'll see what they will decide as to who the next chairman should be.
The leader of the opposition this week reiterated that he would be prepared to take part in ad hoc talks involving Spain, provided Gibraltar has its own voice, vote and veto. Speaking to GBC, Mr. Feetham said the GST's preference and policy is for the tripartite forum to be reactivated, but that in an attempt to build bridges, he would favour ad hoc talks provided they were safe for Gibraltar. He spoke to Stephen Nish.
Well, the GSD's position is that we cautiously welcome the fact that ad hoc talks are going to be taking place. And I think that it's important that the parties talk, that we've had a situation that has at times got out of hand, and quite frankly, it's important that we build bridges. But look, our position has always been that our preference and our policy is tripartite talks, and we will not move from that primary position. But for the purpose of dealing with the current situation and building those bridges, we're prepared to support ad hoc talks, provided that they are safe for Gibraltar. And as I said on many, many occasions, many interviews on GBC, safe means separate voice, separate vote, and separate veto, because then nothing can be agreed. Now, I understand that the Chief Minister has attempted to downplay some of the importance of the talks by saying these are not talks between ministers, it's talks at a lower level, at a technical level. But of course, sometimes technical talks of that nature is and are as important as talks between ministers, because the devil is often in the detail, and technical talks can also be very, very important in terms of protecting our position.
A new £500,000 oil storage farm was opened this week at the port, boasting some of the most secure and environmentally friendly features for a facility of its kind. The 480,000-litre storage operated by MH Bland was requested by one of the port's biggest clients, BP, and has met the Port Authority's stringent controls, put in place since the Sullage tank fire in 2011.
It's just a storage facility for a non-noxious, non-toxic type of oil. But what makes this newsworthy is the fact that it's probably one of the safest examples of this kind of storage in any port. For example, the international shipping community demands that a surrounding reinforced wall be able to contain 25% of the oil should there be a spill from the tanks. This wall can contain 100% of the oil. The engineers working on the facility have to meet a rigorous set of procedures, and the infrastructure can be managed remotely.
This bund wall, this wall that contains everything that is inside all the liquid that is inside the tank farm, should a catastrophe occur, it's sufficient to contain everything, 100% of all the liquid contents of the tank farm. And that is a requirement which is unique to Gibraltar. The international standards is 25% of the total liquid contents of a tank farm. And Gibraltar has chosen to take it way beyond, to raise the bar considerably. But that's just one of the features. There are the whole thing. There's an electronic control panel, which you can see behind me. An operator can remotely control and look at the whole operation. You've got filters at the top of the each tank, which will stop any smells from coming from the tank, even though lubricants are not smelly, and they're the least dangerous in the petroleum chain of production.
The Sullage tank fire of 2011 was an extraordinary event, but also a disaster which cost a human life. This new facility is an example of how the lessons learned from that disaster have been put in place, and the high standards of safety now being rolled out across the industry.
Well, I think that the explosion of the tanks... sorry, let's start again.
Yeah, let's start again. Okay. Take it from there in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, I think the fact that there was an explosion in the port some years back changed the way in which governments and port operators conceive plans in respect of what it is that they're going to be providing in the future. Therefore, this plant is regulated to an extent that is even higher than international standards. And Johnny explained the many ways in which this plant is not just robustly safe, but also environmentally so.
serious clients value these credentials, these green credentials, and I think that in the long term and in the short term, we will see benefits from this.
As an operator, MH Bland has embraced the changes willingly. It says going green goes hand in hand with good business.
Gibraltar's first ever UEFA competitive match earlier this week saw the national side lose 7-0 to Poland in a home game at the Algarve Stadium in Faro. It was nonetheless a historic occasion for football in Gibraltar. It's the debut in the qualifying campaign for the 2016 European Championships.
12 second-half minutes essentially took Gibraltar out of the contest with Poland as they scored 4 at the start of the second period. Gibraltar had held Poland to just a 1-0 advantage at the break, with Grzycki scoring in the 10th minute. This was Gibraltar's first ever UEFA competitive match and yet another historic occasion for Gibraltar football. After Poland had taken the lead, Gibraltar regrouped and showed they could match their more seasoned opponents. The wheels, however, came off the wagon for Gibraltar at the start of the second half, despite starting brightly. Grzycki scored his and Poland's second just 3 minutes in, before star man Bayern Munich's Robert Lewandowski got in on the act. He scored 2 in quick succession, before Sulaka made it 5 on 58 minutes. Gibraltar stemmed the flow for the next half an hour before Lewandowski completed his hat-trick on 86 minutes and wrapped up the scoring with his 4th and Poland's 7th in the first minute of added time. National coach Alan Buller in the post-match press conference admitted it was a painful lesson, but one they will take on board as Gibraltar prepare for a double-header in a month's time against Ireland and Georgia. Adding fitness and sticking to the game plan are key.
The positive that I can take away from the game is that if players are 100% fit, they are match fit, they are concentrated in a match, because let's not kid ourselves, there were some players below par today, which was clearly seen. It shows that in the first half that probably if they would have had all those qualities, match fitness and complete fitness, then we probably could have given a better game to Poland. It didn't happen. They crucified us in the sense that many stupid mistakes were done. Mistakes that we knew the way Lewandowski plays, and we knew what he could do. Yet we held him in the first half. On the second half, it's like, there you go, just have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. So the positive from it is that if they are 100% fit, then we can give a game to anyone.
And that's all from News Review this week. For the rest of this week's news, you can head over to our website, gbc.gi/news. Thank you very much for watching. From the team, good night.